Hi, this is Lee Pound with tip number 7 in my series of book writing tips. Today we're going to talk about keeping them reading. What is the point of writing a book if they don't read it? Remember when we talked about boring versus interesting? Well, people think, okay, I'll make it interesting. I'll throw in a story here, I'll throw in a story there, and that'll make it interesting. But that's not what does it. And here's the key to keeping people reading. You have to keep them anticipating. You have to keep them wanting more. And you do this by foreshadowing what you're going to give them towards the beginning and then not giving it to them until the end. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a technique called weaving. And it's this. You start with story questions, or you start with questions at the very beginning. One of the novels I wrote, the first line is, "For me, it began with a lie." How many questions does that ask? It asks, who's me, what began, what was the lie, what happened, and there's 4 or 5 others in there. You have to keep reading. But I don't answer those questions. In fact, I don't answer some of them till very close to the end. Essentially what you do is you ask the questions, you give some content, you answer one question, you ask another question or two, then you answer another question. So you're always weaving through your book the anticipation of more answers and more answers. But you don't give them the big picture till the end, because that's the wrap-up. That's where everything comes together. And as long as you have them anticipating that and wanting it and waiting for it, and the tension is growing and growing and growing, you're going to keep your reader reading. How does a novelist keep the reader going from chapter to chapter? They do it by having a little cliffhanger. They ask a question, they have an event starting to happen, they have the character in peril. Something like that makes you want to read next. So when you're writing your nonfiction, you can talk about what's coming in the next chapter, or the chapter 3 chapters down, and then you can refer back and you can weave and tie them together. So that's how you keep your reader reading. You keep them reading by keeping them anticipating.